You're listening to Level Up Your Business, the podcast where we talk to hardworking business owners and leaders and help them solve real issues in real time. I'm your host, Sara Frasca, restaurant owner, keynote speaker, and business coach. I've spent my career not only in corporate America, but also as an entrepreneur, carrying on my family's legacy through my restaurant. Now, a business coach and consultant, I'm helping other businesses to use creative problem solving and innovative thinking to drive lasting change. Stay tuned to hear some inspiring guidance that will help you to level up your business.
I like it. That's really great. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, Sarah Bonham. Hello, Mike. Hello to you both. And, today's kind of a special day because Sarah and I love Sarah. Everything about her spirit and the way that she drives business and connections and just with so much heart. So really excited for our podcast today. And of course, I like Mike too. Just teasing.
I didn't get the warm welcome. I don't know. I'm not feeling as warm. Yeah.
So Mike and I are kind of tag team partners in this. We have so much fun talking to entrepreneurs, business leaders, business owners like yourself on this podcast. And, what we're really trying to do, as I mentioned to you, Sarah, is have a business owner, a business leader tell us kind of what are their challenges? What are they grappling with? And I usually say, what's keeping you up at night? And then we want to dive in the moment and really help those through those questions, asking our own questions and really trying to figure out some solutions that maybe you wouldn't have thought of. So before I do that, you and I go back a ways. We are in the same community. So we even have kind of like, a network of folks that we know. But why don't you just kind of set up for our listeners, what your background is and what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am all about creating multiple streams of passive income. I believe in, just a little tiny bit about my background. I grew up in a very poor family growing up. My mom worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. My dad left, I think, when I was just going into high school, left her with the debt, left her with the payments, took the family car. And I remember her, looking at her and her telling me, because I resented her growing up. Like, she was never there for the events. She was never there for the recitals, the PTOs, the award ceremonies. And I was that kid that was at school alone. And so she told me, though, one day when you grow up, you will have to decide, build and raise your family or make a career. And I remember looking her in the eyes and saying, I'm going to do both. And it didn't hit me until 2 years ago when I was up on stage in Arizona and I was speaking to this group of women. And I'm like, it just like tears came down my face. And I was like, this was the moment that I realized that I had achieved both. I had achieved both being able to create income for my family that I could do from anywhere. So I could be that present parent, but also create that income. And so for me, I am very intentional about what I say yes to, what I say no to. Can it be passive? Is it in my wheelhouse? Can I provide value? And if it's something that I can add to my day and to my schedule and to my life, and it's going to create residual income, I'm like, it's a yes for me. So kind of my main focus now, I was diagnosed with Bell's palsy back in March. And it led me to living this whole anti-inflammatory lifestyle, which led me to several companies that loved what I was doing, talking about we need this space. And so long story short, ended up partnering with a company out in California. And it's been amazing. And I get to help people find products that are going to help them live an anti-inflammatory lifestyle while also making money when they want to make money. So I always say, get paid to be healthy, right? So it's been awesome. So that's what I do right now.
Great. It's amazing. And I mean, you've done so well. I mean, I think, again, I was there before the Bell's palsy onset, right at the beginning, and your not only your commitment to living a very, very clean, life, but also your attitude has been just super inspirational. And I know how challenging, not personally, but I mean, I guess, my empathy and just going through other things, but gosh, you've worked so hard and you've had such a great attitude. So, and you look great.
Getting
It's
there,
working.
like 90%. Like we're so
Yep.
close.
It's working.
We're getting there, one step at a time. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Mike and I are also kind of in that entrepreneurial world. And I would say we get a lot of energy personally and professionally through helping folks like yourself. And so I would say, let's just dive right in to the question of the hour. What is keeping you up at night? Sara Bonham, and we'll dive in to see if we can help you.
Okay. What keeps me up at night 100% is my to-do list. I think as an entrepreneur, we don't turn off. When you are working for yourself and you've got all these goals and things that you're doing, especially when you're creating multiple layers of income, the to-do list never ends. Partially my fault, right? Like I'm the one that gets to decide what goes on that to-do list. And I'm the one that gets to decide what gets done and doesn't. But for someone that's always, Sara, you've been such a motivator to me, thinking outside the box, being innovative, taking ownership in other areas of my life. I'm really just thinking outside of the box and how I'm going to scale the things that I have. So with that being said, it is my to-do list that keeps me up at night.
That's not supposed to happen. Your to-do list is supposed to help you go to sleep. Or you keep adding to it? Give me some more insight on that.
Yeah, no, I think it's the fact that like I have a to-do list. I prioritize the things that are important for me and my must-dos, my non-negotiables, and I get those done. But then there's always these other things that like aren't top priority, but also need to get done that don't tend to get done due to, the day not going exactly as planned, or meetings coming, or meetings that are going longer than intended, or whatever it may be. And so new things get added to the list while other things are getting knocked off, but not as quickly as they need to be getting knocked off. If that makes sense. So, I have a to-do list. I love to-do lists, but yeah, it keeps me up. I wake up in the middle of the night, like 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I got to get this done.
Well, Mike gets up at that time too. So if you ever get
yeah, if you're bored, just we could fire on your to-do list. Yeah.
I'm sleeping, just so you all know. I'm dead asleep. Okay. Sara, I want to hear a little bit about like tools that you're using. Like, are you using Post-its? Are you using technology? Like where does your to-do list live?
I'm a little old-fashioned, but I've also learned that technology does help, right? So I do both. For me, I'm a visual learner, and I remember better when I write. So I have a physical calendar that I write in. Being able to open it up and seeing my entire month's info is helpful to me. But then also having the dailies, and then also, I will say, joint Google accounts and alerts and automations and all those have been a game changer for me for sure. So definitely technology is helpful for that too. But yeah, so I'm a little bit of both.
Can I have a question? When are you creating this list? Is it just perpetually throughout the entire day, or do you do it right before you go to bed, or like when are you creating the list?
Ooh, good question. So I used to do it right before bed. And I don't do that anymore. So it's as soon as something has to go on the list, it goes on the list right then and there. Instead of trying to remember and then adding it in the evening, I've just gotten better at okay, this is on the to-do list. This is the next meeting. This is the next call. This is the next, whichever scheduled appointment. So just getting those all in the books right in real time, and then having my projects. So I have my to-dos, my meetings, my schedules, and then I have my projects to help elevate my businesses, automate them, and push them forward. So those are the things that I think it's not working in the business that's hard. As far as the to-do list, it's the working on the business. That to-do list tends to be the one that keeps me up at night because I'm always excited. I'm always thinking of new things and ways to innovate and grow and scale what we are doing, and also learning how to automate it. So that's my big passion, is learning how to automate as much as I can.
Sara, I'd like to switch sides and be on. I want to ask the same question, by the way.
Yeah.
If we solve this, you're going to solve my problem at the same time. So I struggle with the same, say, the reason I'm up at 3 a.m. is for the same reason. So I've tried a host of things. I don't know that they're all successful, but so I don't know that I have, I feel stumped because I struggle with if you have a rapid thought process, it's just hard to turn that rapid thought process off because it just fires up and, now you're, it's like jump out of bed, ready to go. Yeah. So my wife thinks I'm crazy or knows.
Well, I will share things that have helped. I mean, so that's what keeps me up, and I'm very aware, but I also know the power of sleep, and it is so important, right? To our health, to our bodies, to how we focus. So some untraditional ways that maybe you haven't heard of, the last one may throw you a loop. You're like, wait, what? So the first two, not that crazy. Cold plunging and infrared saunas have been massively helpful for me to get that sleep. It just puts my body into like a super deep relaxation moment. My body feels amazing. All of the, I won't say stress. I think like as entrepreneurs, we are excited. Like I don't like to call that stress. I like to call it like excitement, tension. But that kind of gets me wired up and makes it hard for me to like go to sleep. So cold plunging, infrared sauna, very helpful to kind of just reduce all of that. Problem is, I can't always do it every single day. So that's where that comes in. Something else that I just started doing, and I had the best sleep of my life last night. Like I was texting my girlfriends this morning, and I was like, I slept so good because it's something I really struggle with. I go to bed late to make it worse. And then I get that bolt of energy at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, I can't sleep. So it's like, it's really bad, right? Mouth tape.
Never heard of it.
I didn't know if I want that in my house, but it could be dangerous.
Mouth tape. So I learned about this. My girlfriends are super big into studying their sleep habits, and it's like a whole big thing. It's a whole world, like tracking your sleep, knowing how much sleep you're getting, and all the things so you can be at your optimal best each day. And mouth tape, oddly enough, came up. Started off actually from my daughter. She's a mouth breather. She snores really bad at night. We've been trying to, and she's getting really bad sleep. So we're like, well, let's try this mouth tape. We've heard good things about it. You can get it on Amazon. It's really inexpensive. Give it a shot. And I thought, as I was looking into it, I thought, well, it does say that it helps a lot of people with sleep studies and then they're getting better sleep. So I'm like, I'll try it. Tried it last night, had the best sleep of my life. Could have been a combination of all three things. But oddly enough, mouth tape.
Well, that is amazing. I've never heard of it. And I'm not
going to wake up.
It's a good data point, but it's only that is what I would say at this moment, right? Like
at this moment, yes.
Add data points. I think that will help.
Yes, at this moment.
Okay, so I just want to tell you both that I do not have this issue. I have rapid thought process. I sleep great at night, knowing that I've captured everything. I have some tools and some ideas for you, but it's a kind of an individualized journey, and in my opinion, on this topic. Mm-hmm. And so, what keeps you up at night is your to-do list for both of you. Like I may have some ideas. I want to ask a couple of clarifying questions though, like before, and maybe Mike, you can write down your answers too, because now I'm going to throw this back at both of you. But what are the things on your big picture roles and responsibilities that you love doing and are great at? Like you wake up in the morning and you tell your significant other and you think to yourself, you kick off the sheets and you're like, I'm so excited. I get to do this today. Versus what are the things that, you really wish you didn't have to do that. You might tell your significant other the opposite, oh, I have to go do this today. And so if you write them down, I'm kind of curious. I'll ask Sara first. What are your answers to that, Sara?
So I would say in the current moment, what I love is working with our sales team. I love helping them win. I love being on calls with them. I love coaching them. I live to celebrate their victories. And then that's the part for me where it's those are what I love to do. And I spend a lot of time doing. Mm-hmm. And then it's the other things that I don't get to, right? And then those are things that wake me up. So Watching, but those are the conversations I can't quite control, right? Like they might go a little longer, meetings might extend, this might happen. So I think it is creating boundaries around those calls and that coaching, right? That would be helpful. But then the things I'm thinking of what I don't love. I don't love emails.
Okay.
I don't love, Sarah probably knows this. Like I'm terrible at getting to my emails.
Same.
I hate them. I hate sitting down and weaning out, okay, what are the important ones? What do I need to actually go through? What are the ones that are spam and garbage? What are the ones that are wasting my time? And then just spending time there in that space, I don't enjoy to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really helpful. And, I'm kind of coming at this from a couple of different areas because when I first opened the restaurant, I was in a pickle. Like even though I slept great, my to-do list was also a disaster. And I had this fear of missing something because everything landed on my shoulders. So, you said, kind of you need to set better boundaries with these folks. And I would say, Sarah, it's really important because it's just like, at the doctor's office or wherever, like you have to stay on schedule or you're pushing back and you're saying to the next person, you're not important to me. And so you have to be really, in my opinion, really, I would say, Mike, actually, maybe if you'll mute for just a second. I don't know if there's there's feedback. But anyways, you have to be pretty disciplined about this, but this is something where they've done studies. Your meeting will last as long as your meeting is scheduled, right? And so I would say I also have learned over the years, there are bio breaks that need to happen. Like I might need to grab lunch or whatever. No one's doing that for you. You have to do that for yourself. So you say, okay, guys, it's 4:30. I have a hard stop at 5:20. I can almost guarantee you that meeting will be done at 5:20 because the people on the other end are getting your coaching. They are getting your time, attention, etc. And you are so loving. And I know you could talk to them all night, but they respect you. You have helped them. They owe it to you to say, gosh, it's 5:20. We know you have a hard stop. Let's follow up tomorrow with another 15 minutes. I mean, that is again, just a really kind of have the confidence to set those boundaries. You can't go beyond them, Sarah, or you will be sacrificing your own sanity.
Totally makes sense. That's such a valid point to just give yourself permission to have the hard break, right? Yep.
I mean, if I met with you and I said hey, Sarah, we can meet today from, noon to 12:55, but I've got a hard stop at 12:55. You would never think bad of me. You'd be like, oh, it's so great that Sarah's giving us the, and I think again, put yourself on the other side. You would never feel bad if someone did that. And what was my other point on that? Well, I again think you will prioritize better. I mean, you might say well, how are your kids and everything like that? And you might have a little bit of small talk, but you're really going to be succinct and crystal clear because again, you've got the time in your day. You're just choosing to allow people to take it from you. So if you're making it a little bit more this is, you don't get any more time.
Yeah. So valid.
Yeah. Okay, I don't want to jump right to the hate. Mike, did you have anything else on the love area?
No, I think it was good.
Well, I want to hear Mike's love and hates too.
Oh, geez. Well, I love making espresso. That's what jumps me out of bed is to make my espresso in the morning. No, I really like I get excited about finding creative solutions. That's really what drives me. And so usually my 3 a.m., what jumped me out of bed was something I was working with a client. And then I, for some reason at 3 a.m. was able to formulate what I considered to be oh my God, this is it. And my hate, I would say, is going to the gym. So I don't like going to the gym. I know there's so many people. I wish I loved it. I don't.
I love it so much. It's my sanity and break. That's where I've created my best boundary is saying I'm not taking calls. I'm not doing these things from this window. I am hyper focused on me and my health. And I used to not be like that though. My Bell's palsy led me to a lot of enjoying these things that are better for me.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So I'm going to go to Sarah's hate for a minute, because I also hate emails. I would say that has been the bane of my existence since I started. And Mike teases me because he's like, did you read my emails? And I hate emails. And so I put a solution in place a little over a year ago. You both know this. I have a kind of COO / he's like everything for me, like head of everything I do. I don't know what his exact title is, COO of my life. And so, we have such in my opinion, such an incredible connection. Like I will send him things at night where I'm like, oh my gosh, we should try this. Or he and I will send each other stuff if we're like out and about or looking on Instagram or on, the internet or whatever. And so we both have, I think, ideas swirling at any moment, and neither of us feels bad. I think I should ask him again, but that we're like pinging each other constantly. So my rapid thought process is met with his rapid thought process. And I never feel like there's any tension or resentment. So that's one component of that part. The other thing is he does assist me with my emails. So everything that comes through, and I will say, the fact that I have a couple of businesses, I have my business card, on the counter at the restaurant, I do get signed up for a lot of spam. And so he filters that and is able to say like, oh no, she doesn't need new shoes. It's like, get all that junk out. And then like, I know exactly, but he'll say to me, if I have an all day meeting, you have 3 important emails. You've got to get back to these 3 people. And so I feel like I know when I have an important client thing that he's got me covered. He's got my back. And so he lives up in Hudson Valley. So he is not with me here physically. And so I think that there are some really good tools out there for an executive assistant, for someone, even if it's a remote based, if it's a virtual assistant. In fact, I'm just going to look on Instagram because again, I found this the other day and I thought it was fantastic. And I'm going to give you the name of it. Okay, hold. I apparently sent him a lot of things. Whoops.
He's wonderful, by the way. I love working. He's just great. Yeah.
I know. Okay, so it's called Johanna.
Okay.
YOHANA. And their little thing on Instagram, tackling your to-do list is a challenge, even on your most productive days. Learn how we can help you get things done. So I haven't done it, so I can't like speak to their services or their quality or any of those things, but it piqued my interest because a lot of working professional, especially moms and dads, have a lot on their plate. And so you said a very big tension point for me, and I'm going to call you out on this. You said, I do, like I'm really proud of being a present parent and an entrepreneur. And I think you're probably like not separating it as well as you hope to do it. Because when I was at General Mills, I had this funny realization one time of like, oh my gosh, every time I'm at work, I'm stressed about my kids. And every time I'm with my kids, I'm stressed about my work. And I was like, I am not present. Like I am not delineating. And so I think it's a little bit of practicing that I've done through the years, but I would say, I really think you should focus on that. I really think you should, when you go to bed at night, like rest easy. Like you got a full day's work in, Sarah. I know how much you work. Like, too. Like there's nothing more a person can accomplish than what the two of you accomplish in a day. Like there's no question. There's no way on earth a human being can get more done than either of you. So like go to bed and then get back up in the morning and do the rest.
Yeah.
I have more for you. Okay. So you got to turn off, right? Like you have to have like a turn off switch. And so whatever is turning that off, my husband calls it changing the channel. Like you have to physically, we all had old TVs, right? Where you'd like literally flip the knob. Like you got to put it on a different channel, because if you have that static running in the background all night, and it is taxing.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be your best self either in any of your worlds, right? Like you've got to have that like sharpening the tools time where you're sleeping, resting, all of those sorts of things. So I really, really believe in that, like, I would say different organizational systems call it different things. EOS calls it clarity breaks. I would say, lots of folks practice mindfulness. Your plans of what you're doing with the cold plunging and the infrared sauna. See, I say sauna because I'm from Minnesota. It's a Finnish word. Mouth tape, the gym, like you've got tools in your toolkit. You've got to use them, and you've got to use them in a way that allows you to have that mental break so that you can come back with fresh energy, just like a professional athlete.
Yeah. So true. I love it. I think it's the boundaries is the biggest word, right? That I pull out of, like, just setting those boundaries and those spaces, and then being consistent about it. So setting boundaries for a day or a week isn't enough. So it's learning how to do that consistently. But so true.
I find that the something we do for our meetings, that the mind wipe is a really neat tool as well. Maybe you can talk about that. That was, for me, when I asked what time do you write your list, I found that sometimes if I write the list right before I go to bed, I'm up. The list just never ends. It goes right through the entire evening. But we have a process we do before some meetings, and Sarah, I'll let you talk about it. But I think that's really helpful.
I'm glad you find it helpful.
I want a mind wipe.
So, it's so simple. It's literally like, just get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen or whatever, and you just write everything down I usually use a 3-minute time frame. Mm-hmm. And so when we are working with a client, and our clients are just like us, right? Like, they are battling kids issues, and they've got to take somebody to the doctor, and they've got a client call they have to do, and they're supposed to do a strategic plan. Like, heavens, like, it's a lot, right? And so we have to come to be present in the moment with the task we're working on. And so the mind wipe is intended to be a clearing out process. Mm-hmm. And so the idea is, you take a blank piece of paper, you take a pen, and you literally write down every single thing you can think of that you need to do or that's on your mind. So it might be like, I need to go to the grocery store, and I've got to change the air conditioning filter, and I need to get a birthday present for someone, and I've got to get the Christmas cards done. Literally every single thing that's on your mind. And now when that 3 minutes ends, you have your to-do list. Mm-hmm. Like, this is, and you could even add in, of course, a step of like, must do. Like, those become your prioritized. I got to get these done first, and then the little things.
Did you write down the birthday present? Because it is coming up, just so you know.
Wait, your birthday's coming up? I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I thought that's why you wrote it down.
You know what? It was someone else.
I love it.
But I will also figure out when your birthday is, and then now we'll
29.
I'm getting you good chocolate this year, since you were eating mocklet.
Chocolates.
So okay, let's see. I had another couple of things. So I don't know if this is either of you, but at one point and this was in my General Mills days, I was utilizing a program called Getting Things Done, which is a great tool. And actually just made me think of another one. All right. But give me just a minute. I got to write that one down so I don't forget. Okay. So Getting Things Done was a terrific system. I, was able to go through it, corporate training course, but they also have a book, and they have online training courses and that sort of thing. But it just kind of helps you to be able to be really productive and efficient. And one of the things that I recognized in that course was that I was making to-do lists in multiple places. And so then I would end up making a to-do list of all the things on my different to-do lists. And I was repeating things or trying to consolidate. And it was just, not only inefficient, but it was also almost adding anxiety. Like, wait, where did that other list go? And okay, I've got this list, and then I've got this list. And it was like, stop making lists and start doing the work. Yeah. And so, so I have no idea if either of you does that. I don't assume, but that was something that I had to fix.
Years ago, absolutely. I got to a point where I forget what book I was reading, but it was talking about energy. And it was talking about how we actually physically spend more physical energy thinking about our to-do list versus just doing it. And so I started putting that into practice. And I'm like, wow, it really is so quick, right? It's not answering that email doesn't really take that long. Reaching out to that person or doing that follow-up or sitting down to create that task doesn't actually take that much energy, and you feel great afterwards. So, what book was it? It was years ago that I started to do that. But I used to be that way. I was like, oh, I've got this tool and this app and this thing, and I would create all the lists so I wouldn't forget. Now I'm just down to my one physical, my one digital that's shareable to my other audiences, and now it's just tackling the action piece each day. But it does feel good. I always tell people, chase the feeling that you're going to have afterwards, because it feels great to just get through it, right?
It's fantastic. I agree. The other tool that I thought of in the moment that I've used with certain folks is the Eisenhower matrix. And it was actually President Eisenhower that developed this. And it kind of lays out importance and urgency. But the most important is that it's do it, decide, delegate, or delete. And so it's like you have any single thing that comes through, you have 4 options. There's no other options. You're either going to do it now, you're going to decide on a time to do it later, you're going to delegate to someone who can do it for you, or delete, literally eliminate it, right? Not important. And so if you can choose in that instant of which of these 4 am I going to do, you've taken the complicated process of thinking through, when am I going to do that? And should I have somebody else do it? And you're split second, and you actually can practice this like a muscle and get better at it. And so, an email comes in and it's like, nope, delete. Email comes in, delegate. Email comes in, I'm going to do it now. And so that type of thought process can help you to become more, again, efficient, more effective.
It's ironic that you used email in your analogy.
I think you're very, very funny, but yes, I hate email. I really nope. Okay. Actually, on that note, I'm going to tell you something else. And this is maybe the wrong answer, but I'm going to be as real as possible.
Yeah.
Why would I let anyone else control my day? I'm going to do the things that are most important to the things that I need to do. So if I need to make a client call, I'm not looking at my email. I'm going to make the client call. And so again, I've got James in the background looking at my email and texting me and saying, you have 3 emails you have to do today. And it's great, I'll go look. And to be very honest, we made a folder of everything that has to do with my kids. I mean, having 5 kids, it's a lot of, and it's all important, but I can then do that at night and it's not clogging up my inbox because he doesn't have to worry about the test tomorrow or the whatever. But I want to do that and I want to read it. But anyway, the point is, I forgot my point.
Not letting people control your day.
Yes, so thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew I had a point and it was a good one. See, Mike emails me and I'm not letting Mike take over my day. I'm in charge. I'm my own boss of my day.
I just got to find out how to get to be one of those 3 important emails.
Ooh, okay. All right. So I have another.
Urgent James. Make this priority number 1 email.
He always tells me when you email me. I always read everything. It just happens that I don't read it instantly.
Yeah.
All the time. Okay. Yeah. I have another comment for you. So I would say this is in line of delegating. I don't know if you have a team or not. Do you have anyone on your team?
I have. So as far as delegating, I do have an amazing assistant. She does.
Good.
Yeah, she's wonderful. So we run. I really try to. It's my projects that stress me out, right? I can say excitement and tension. But it's those to-do lists too. So it's but the cool thing is my projects, once they're done, they're automated and they're moving forward. But there's always something else to do. So I work really closely with her to finish and wrap up the project. I think the hard part for me, and I'm learning and I'm getting better, is how much can I delegate? How much of my knowledge needs to be coming from me? And what things that take up the most time can I, again, I think for me, as I feel like I have to be the one to do it, there has to be this level of me involved and in the aspect of it. So I think it's of my own mindset that like, no, so-and-so can do this and they are capable of handling this and they can take my vision and my words and my personality and put this into this. So it's kind of like letting go of, I think when you're, especially like a baby entrepreneur too, like it was just me for so many years. For so many years, just in the last couple of years, I've been able to really delegate and pass things on. So for so long, I had to do all of it and still kind of breaking those habits of like, no, I don't have to do this all alone. So, but it is a struggle.
Yeah. Okay. So I want you to kind of flip the script for a moment and think about like, what if I was your manager? So you're in this scenario, you're your own assistant and I'm Sarah Bonham and I am not delegating to you. What am I telling you?
A, that you don't have any work for me or that you don't trust me.
That was kind of what I wanted to hear you say, because I think what people don't realize in this like delegation discussion is how empowering it is. Like if I bring you in on the vision and I say like, no, go at it. Like I trust you. Like I need the help. I mean, again, I need to check with James to make absolutely sure how he feels, but I'm like, oh my gosh, we are like of the same mind. Like you can do everything I can do. Like just you take it and run. And so, you know, in not only like I rely on him for everything, but like, I think it's empowering for him because he knows that I trust him and that goodness, as long as we're operating with integrity and with kind of the values that we have kind of discussed and aligned on and those sorts of things, I really don't care if somebody makes a mistake. I mean, really, what's the worst thing that can happen? We're not operating on patients that could die. Like if we send the wrong email or the wrong name or the what, like there are things as human beings that we may get wrong, but better to delegate to him. He, you know, anyway, so I just really want to like counsel you to try to maybe emails, because that was what you said you hate the most.
I know. When you said that, I was like, gosh, even just a simple task of her dividing my kids' emails out would, I feel like, feel so good. Because I mean, it's, you know, you have 5. I only have 3, but my gosh, multiple emails, sports, events, all the things. It's like, yeah.
Totally. And how many times does the teacher tell you that there's going to be a holiday party on Friday? Like they tell you like 4 or 5 times, like, hey, don't forget, we're having our holiday party tomorrow. Like you can get 5 emails read in very quick order when they're all bucketed together, right? So anyway, my point is, I think you should lean on your assistant a little more.
I love
it may work and it may not, but you might as well try it.
Yeah, I love it. And she's wonderful. We do connect. I feel like I love hearing yours and James's like relationship, because I feel like when you have that, like you hang on tight and you don't ever want to let that go because it's so hard to find, right? And I'm excited because she is like, we get each other, we work well together, and I'm like, okay, I like this. This is moving in the direction I want. So it's exciting. But I don't do as much. Like I kind of have her in one bucket or one wheelhouse. And yeah, I love the email aspect. That sounds awesome.
I mean, otherwise, I think of emails as like death by paper cuts, right? Like there's some junk in there. There's some stuff that I like really need to look at. And then there's like a lot that's like FYI, or it's from the kids' schools or whatever. So like try to manage the paper cuts and it will like be way less painful.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Down to like 5 emails, Mike.
I love it.
I had one other thing or another thing, because I may come up with more, but I will say that, you know, this may seem simple, but a lot of times when we've built a system and we have like, you know, kind of our business and everything, we are we are really rigid on like, well, we always do it this way. And then you just keep adding more things, right? Like, oh no, we always do a calendar. Oh no, we always do a meeting on the first Wednesday of every month. But we're going to add this, you know, project, and we're going to add this thing, and so like, it's got to be at some point 1 in, 1 out. Like you can't do everything. You can't expect yourself or your team to do all the same things and keep adding more campaigns, more projects, more whatever. So you do have to really be willing to say goodbye to the old.
Yeah, and I think on that, it's where evolution is not always the most efficient way. So when you have a legacy business, I had a business that lasted, I ran for over 30 years, and there were things that were still around that I were created in 1988, which maybe don't apply in 2021. So you do have to maybe tear down and rebuild and restore it as you go through. So it's always good to look at your processes and say, is this still applicable today? Is there a better way to handle it?
Yeah, I love that. That's so true. I feel like that's kind of what we're in the process of. We're tearing down these walls of these old traditional ways of doing my industry, and we're getting resistance, but we're also seeing a lot of fruit in what we're creating and what we're doing. And so it's like, okay, guys, like, let's be open-minded to this. And it allows you to work smarter, not harder, but it's also a shift and a change. And it's, we're fighting some resistance on adoption, but we're getting there. And that's the other piece too, right? When you do make a shift and a change, is all that work going to be adopted? Like, are people going to utilize it? Are they going to jump in on it? And so it's like, is all this work going to also, right? So it's to-do list, but it's also the fear of like, is this work going to produce what it was designed to produce? So I think it's kind of that combination, but no, super valuable tips. I love the delegating more. I love the organizing of the emails. I love the simplifying of the to-do list and just take the action. And Mike, I hope you try the mouth tape.
Yeah. I hope my wife doesn't see this, and maybe she'll try duct tape instead.
We'll see. But no, I just, I want to sleep more. I think for us to be our most like optimal and best, we have to have that. So Sarah, I love that you get to just sleep. 5 kids, you're just tired and you just sleep. That's wonderful.
I'm really and truly, I'm like a Labrador puppy. That's like my spirit animal, I guess you'd say. Like, I am like, go, go, go. And like, oh, hi. And, I'm so excited and so happy. And then when I lay down, I am out.
I love that.
So there you go. So I feel like I run at like a super high octane during the day, but when I hit the pillow, man, I am gone.
I love it.
Yeah.
I need that.
We got to get you to that. We got to get you to that.
We got to get to that. It's so funny. My husband, usually I feel like guys don't struggle with it as much, but I'll be talking to my husband and I'll look over and he's out like seconds. Like his head hits the pillow and he's just gone. And I'm laying in bed for at least 40 minutes, tossing and turning, trying to settle down my brain enough to like get to sleep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then I think there's anxiety around, I know I need to be sleeping. So my body's like pent up and so it's like stressed out. And so then it wakes up again and I'm like, why am I waking up? Mike's laughing. My God, these emotions coming. I'm like, what is this? So,
well, it might do you good to talk, even like, and I am not a physician, but like, truly, like, I also wonder, there are states around the country that do, like microdosing of things, like even like an edible or, I don't do anything like that, but I would say I also am open to anything because, you get one shot at this, right? Like, we've got one life, we've got one body. Our body is our tool. It is how we will not only feed our families, but enjoy this one life we're given. And so I think whatever works and under the care of a good physician, like there's probably lots of options to really help you disconnect that like treadmill that's just going. Change the channel, get the sleep, because the exciting thing every morning, I kick off my sheets every day. Like, I am like raring to go. I can't wait. I love my job. I have multiple, as you know. I have so much fun. So anyway, my point is I sleep really well at night because I know I get to wake up and do it all over again. And everything I left last night is going to be there in the morning and I get a fresh start.
So true. It's our brains are powerful. I love the idea of like making the decision to like shift and change the channel too. I think that's powerful. Just, I work late And I think that I know that that's a problem too. It doesn't allow me to have time to turn the channel because the kids are in bed and then I go back to work because I enjoy it. I love what I do. And it's exciting but I know that I'm thinking about it all night long. So I got to find a way to unplug and unwind. So I love that. Good stuff. Sarah, do you do anything before bed or do you just hit the pillow out? Yeah. Is there anything that you
I don't have a pattern or a routine. But I will say I am the opposite. Like I'm an early morning person, so I don't mind getting up early, but I start to kind of like fade when it's like 9 p.m.
Okay.
I can't really I'm not at my best. So I would say I really do start to kind of wind down and, I'll do stuff with the kids. Last night I was doing a puzzle with my daughter for, maybe an hour before bed. And then we all just kind of went to bed. But no, I do not have like a routine.
Okay, Carrie, I was interested.
Yeah,
Mike, do you tend to work late?
No. As a matter of fact, no. I stop working. I usually unwind for a while, and I don't think I have a problem sleeping as much as I think I just need a smaller window of sleep. So I tend to, 10 to 3 in the morning. I'm kicking off the sheets, ready to go, and I can take over the world before 5.
You should go to the gym at 3 a.m. Why are you not doing this?
No one wants to do that.
Why? They have 24-hour gyms and it would kill 2 birds with 1 stone because you're up and you don't like it. So you get it done and then you wouldn't have to do it in the day.
It's true. It's true.
That's true.
Yeah. And then you'll feel more energized, more energy to get the day done.
Well, Sarah, I'm glad that some of these things were helpful. I mean, I think this is such a common issue for business leaders, business owners, that sort of thing. And it takes a lot of vulnerability to kind of own up to these things that are, I mean, truly, they're very personal. This is a very intimate discussion on what is, literally and figuratively keeping you up at night. And I mean, I'm going to check back in with you because I really want to know which ones helped and how's that mouth tape going.
I know, but check to see if this works.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. It's, I think at the end of the day, I love what I do and I'm passionate about what I do. And there's this piece of me that I thrive in that excitement. I thrive when I'm constantly adding new, which is a choice. I also love that. There's a piece of me. I've always said, I'm a sprinter. It's harder for me to be the marathon runner, which I know, right? But I love the energy of a new chapter, a new beginning, and the sprint that you have, and the momentum that's created. I love that.
Me too.
Yeah, I love it. I'm addicted to new things. I'm let's go. I love the creation aspect of relaunching and rebuilding. So yeah, it's good stuff. But
it's great. It's great.
Yeah. But
Sarah, do you have last question? Do you have a favorite pizza anywhere in the world?
I wouldn't say I have a favorite place that makes my favorite pizza, but I do have a favorite. So I give me some mushrooms, truffle oil, some arugula, and tomato. I love a good white sauce, truffle oil, mushroom pizza. It's my favorite.
Cool. That's great.
Yeah,
that's really great. I actually had that pizza last at a little place called White House in Carbondale, Colorado. So, Mike, we got to get that on our pizza list.
I think so. Yeah, I'll put that on the list.
Yep.
There's selfish little. Well, it's not selfish. I have no affiliation with this company, but there is a brand new pizza place in Jacksonville. Actually, all vegan cheese, all the whole 9 yards, and they have a truffle mushroom pizza. I haven't tried it yet, but friends of ours in Ponte Vedra own it, and we're going to go and support them at some point. But
that's awesome.
They do have wild pie. Wild pie. They just opened a couple, not even a full week ago.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So all gluten-free, all clean. Yep. Good stuff. So
cool.
It's good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, it has been an absolute pleasure as always to talk with you. And again, thank you for being willing to kind of bring your challenge to us and let us work through it with you in the moment. Mike, thank you.
Thank you. It's so nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was so nice to meet you, Mike. I have to tell you, I love your personality and your energy. I'm like such an energy person, and I love it. I think it's fun. So I think you're both of you, Sarah, I tell you this all the time, you're just such a light in the community. And I love that. I think the world needs more fun, energetic, positive visionaries in the world. So you guys are awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Mike, I feel the same. So thank you. I know I tease you a lot, but you're one of my faves. All right. Goodbye, you two. Have a great rest of the day.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Level Up Your Business with me, Sara Frasca. If you have a problem in your business that's keeping you up at night, please join us in a future episode so we can help get you unstuck. Just click in the link in the show notes and send us a message. Please remember, stay innovative, friends.